how to make your own piano karaoke cover, or more specifically, how do I make piano karaoke covers that people like Anna Pantsu or Caleb Hiles will use for their covers. In this video, I will walk you through the step-by-step process that I use to make amazing piano covers that anyone can sing along to. And the best part is, you don't really need to be that good at playing piano. But first, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on notifications. This is technically my first video back from hiatus, and no, the TikToks don't count. What is going on, guys? My name is Spywi. I'm a musician, a pianist, and a singer on YouTube, and you may know me from my viral Steven Universe covers, you may know me from my Broadway covers like Be More Chill or Dear Evan Hansen, or you may know me as that one piano guy that collaborated with Anna Pantsu a couple of times. Heck, there was a certain time in my life where I was posting Nate Wants to Battle covers or Five Nights at Freddy's covers. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Either way, I've been on this platform for a really long time, if you couldn't tell. However, the one thing that I haven't posted on this channel is a breakdown of how I do my work. The process of picking a song, learning how to play it, recording it, editing it, posting it to YouTube, basically the whole process. Now there's lots of different cover channels out there, and there's a lot that do everything from the fancy Synthesia videos, you know, the sparkly notes, all the way to the ones that play piano in full cosplay. But this video will primarily focus on what makes my videos look and sound the way that they do. And so without further ado, here's step number one. Step one is picking a song. Now I realize that there's a lot of different songs out there, and depending on what it is that you want to post, maybe you want to post something that's trending, maybe you want to post something that's one of your favorite songs that you wanted to play for the longest time, but what really matters is finding a balance between what's viral or what is something that you're happy playing. And at the end of the day, lean towards what makes you happy. Yes, posting a super viral video may get you a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, but at the end of the day, you might not be happy posting something like that. So choose maybe like a favorite song, a comfort song to start off, maybe if you're starting out your YouTube channel, and slowly work your way towards making a lot of viral content. Step two is figuring out the chords. Yes, I say chords because the majority of what I play is guitar chords. I've actually had a lot of people commenting on my videos saying, hey, why don't you ever post sheet music? Or can you send me the sheet music? Can I buy sheet music off of you? And the answer that I give to everyone is, I actually don't read sheet music. I know, shocker. It's true, I don't actually read that much sheet music. Like, I can do like the simple, like FACE, every good boy does fine, you know, all of that. Really like simplistic stuff, but I don't sight read. I don't read sheet music. I don't even look at sheet music unless it actually has the guitar chords across the top of it. And that's actually what I focus on, is guitar chords. Of course, my playing style is very improvisational based, so to speak. The right hand plays chords. The left hand plays a lot of octaves. And so depending on your play style, you might find it more difficult to play guitar chords. Maybe you actually like playing with sheet music. And like I said earlier, at the end of the day, just focus on something that makes you happy. Now, where do I find chords? Now, there's a lot of different websites that you can use, but I primarily use the site ultimateguitar.com. Yes, I know that it is largely community submitted stuff, and I realize that not all of the chords there are accurate, so to speak. I should know, I've submitted a few in the past and have been corrected multiple times, and I still get comments to this day asking to correct those tabs. But if you find a set of tabs that are actually pretty good or pretty close to the original, then go for that. Maybe it's not 100% perfect, but as long as it sounds close. Sometimes the chords just don't exist, however. Maybe it's a brand new song, maybe it's a song that hasn't really been tabbed that much, and so what do? Sometimes if you're good enough at music, maybe you can play it by ear or make it up. Maybe you can take some time and learn the chords and actually write them down, or you can just do what I do and just chuck them into a website like Chordify, which analyzes the songs and spits out chords that are probably right. And of course, I have to go in and manually do some editing there, but at the end of the day, it's all about trying to learn the song as fast as possible. And if you have to use a site like Chordify, then so be it. Just make sure that you understand that it's probably not 100% accurate. And of course, you want to make sure that you listen to the song a lot. I've made this mistake in the past. I tried to make this cover of a song that was, you know, a really trending and viral song at the moment. It had just released that night. And so I basically spent like almost all night listening to it. I stayed up until 1 a.m. listening to the song, trying to play the chords, trying to figure out the chords. And eventually I did manage to get a cover out within a few hours. The unfortunate thing is that the timing was off, the tempo was off, and some of the chords were wrong. Unfortunately, that's just the trade-off that you have to have between making a viral cover versus trying to figure out a song if you're not really that good a musician. So, step number 3 is recording the song. Now, when I started making these piano covers, I actually started out with a really old iPad. I think it's like the 2nd generation iPad. And what I did was I actually sat it on top of a music stand and taped it at the right angle so that it would be facing towards the piano. Of course, I didn't have any fancy microphones, I didn't know how to do MIDI stuff, and so what I did was I just used the inbuilt camera on the iPad in order to record the sound that was coming out of the piano. And you can hear it in a lot of my first videos, but the audio quality was really, really bad, but at the same time, it wasn't terrible. Like, you could actually sing along to it. And plus, this was like way back in like earlier YouTube years when quality wasn't as important. Nowadays, in this day and age, cameras, tripods are really not as expensive as they used to be. And even now, everyone has a high-end smartphone. And so you take a tripod, you take a camera mount, you put your phone in there, and you've basically got high-quality video and audio that is way better than what I started out with. Now keep in mind, if you are running camera audio only, you are going to be running the risk of having all other types of noises around the house. Trust me, you could have recorded like the most beautiful, perfect take ever, and then you listen back to the audio and you realize that you can hear your parents screaming at you to take out the trash from like, I don't know, 20 feet away or downstairs. It's happened to me a lot, trust me. However, if you're a bit more tech savvy and know about MIDI recording or digital recording and you can figure out a way to digitally and cleanly record audio, that is probably the best case scenario. Ideally, if you can record something with a MIDI cable or a USB directly into your laptop, that's probably your best case scenario. I myself am using Mixcraft in order to make the MIDI sound actually palatable, but at the end of the day, do some research, figure out which digital workstation works for you, figure out which method of recording works for you. If you don't have a digital piano, then figure out how to record the audio as best as you can. And I'm keeping this very broad, I understand, but not everybody is going to have the resources and not everybody is going to have the technical know-how to figure this out. And so I'm assuming that you have access to YouTube, and so please do some research and figure out what works for you. A little extra tip that I have for you is if you are going to be recording, whether it be piano or guitar or another instrument, and you're focusing on the karaoke aspect of this, I highly recommend that you record with the singer in mind. Whenever you practice these types of songs, I want you to sing along to the song and see if the way that you're playing it is actually, you know, good enough to sing along to. I'm not saying it has to be totally perfect. Even for me, I started out playing very simple piano chords, and I sang along to them and I was able to fine-tune my performance until it was actually something that people could sing along to. I'll give you an example. So if you look at my cover for Here Comes the Thought from Steven Universe, 90% of it is like major chords, 7th chords, just a lot of chords and octaves. There's really not a lot of melody play along there. There's maybe some like extra little flare notes in between, but that's just my personal playing style. At the end of the day, it's all very, very simple piano chords and octaves. And apparently it was good enough for the likes of Anna Pantsu to use for her own cover, because she actually took that audio and was able to create a singing cover of her own. Of course, she did pitch the audio down a little bit to suit her voice, but at the end of the day, if you listen back to it, it's actually a really, really good accompaniment. And she's actually stated in a live stream that I was on that I have a specific playing style that complements singers. I make it so that the star of the performance is not the piano player, it's the singer. And that holds true even in my digital recordings. Simple piano chords can sometimes be more powerful than 1,000 piano flourishes, so keep that in mind. So let's talk software. Again, this is not going to be for everybody. Not everyone's going to have a laptop or access to any sort of technology, and so figure out what works for you. Personally, I use Mixcraft Pro Studio. I think I'm on version 9 right now. It's like a one-time purchase, but it comes with a lot of piano plugins, instrument plugins, MIDI support. It's got vocal tuning, but at the end of the day, you could just use Audacity. I highly recommend looking up the YouTube channel Recording Revolution because they do a lot of mixing and recording tutorials that are specific to Pro Tools first. Of course, this is the free version, but there's also, like I said, Audacity, GarageBand. I think the iPad has GarageBand as well. So again, figure out what works for you and just do that. I've seen some really great recordings that were done on the iPhone's Voice Memos app. So whatever you have at your disposal, use that. But now I kind of want to hear from you guys. Comment down below what type of digital audio workstation that beginners would be able to pick up and learn. Again, I highly recommend learning Audacity. There's a lot of free plugins like noise reduction, EQ, compressors, a lot of the basic stuff that you would need starting out. But if you guys have any other suggestions, FL Studio, Pro Tools First, whatever you guys think of, leave them in the comments below. Also, please make them beginner friendly because I don't want to just throw people into Ableton, you know what I mean? Okay, step 6, I think. Mixing and exporting your audio. Sometimes the simplest editing is probably the best. You don't want to make it too showy, too echoey, you don't want to add too many effects and reverbs. For me, really, really simple EQ and compression and a tiny bit of reverb works wonders. Of course, if you want to go the expensive route, you can spend a lot of money to get these plugins that make your MIDI files sound like these grand piano concerts. But as is the philosophy on this channel, simple is best. And moving on from that, if you've managed to master mixing and editing, again, I recommend the Recording Revolution for a lot of mixing tips. We move on to video editing. Now, I highly, highly recommend, especially if you're a Windows user or a Mac user, try out free video editing software like HitFilm Express or DaVinci Resolve. These are both free software that I've tried out, and I can guarantee you they are very, very easy to learn. There's a lot of tutorials online, and trust me, you are going to save a lot of money by avoiding Premiere Pro. Also, for my iPad users, I highly recommend using LumaFusion. It's a bit pricey, especially if you want to get all of the other upgrades and features, and you may not have an iPad that supports it, but especially if you're going to be an iPad-only editor, I highly recommend LumaFusion. Subtitling. Step 8, subtitling and lyrics. Subtitling is a pain. Trust me. Of course, there are software like Premiere Pro's new auto caption feature that makes subtitling easier, but for karaoke covers, you have to do all of these yourself. Subtitles are a pain, but trust me, as a singer that looks up karaoke covers on YouTube, subtitles and lyrics are a godsend, especially trying to sing along to it or trying to figure out like how this arrangement goes. Having subtitles on screen really, really helps the reader. I mean, think about it. If you were to go to like a karaoke bar or set up a karaoke machine downstairs, all of them have lyrics, and so it would be detrimental to not have lyrics in your video. And then, of course, figure out how to edit and export and upload to YouTube or Vimeo or whatever platform you decide to put it on. And that's it. I hope you guys learned something, especially because I've covered a lot of really broad topics, and some of them may be relevant to you, some of them may not be, but these are basically the tips that I've picked up from being on YouTube and posting almost consistently for 10-ish years. I know it's a lot. Even if the recording methods have changed, even if my playing style has changed, the core values of this channel have pretty much stayed the same. Work with what you've got. Record with the singer in mind. Make things as easy as possible. And of course, you don't have to have the fanciest equipment. You don't have to have 10 plus years of piano experience. You don't have to be in the gifted and talented program or learn all of these like musical theories and notations. At the end of the day, all you really have to do is make sure that you focus on the singer, because you are creating a karaoke track after all. If people find your video, they may sing along to it. If you're interested, please check out some of my older videos. I have an entire backlog of Steven Universe covers. I have Broadway covers, Be More Chill, Dear Evan Hansen, The Greatest Showman. I've done SpongeBob the Musical. I've done everything from Nate Wants to Battle covers all the way back to church worship covers. Also, I have no clue when I'm editing and uploading this video, but I highly recommend some of the Dear Evan Hansen covers because I have a feeling that with the movie coming out, some people are going to be re-listening to the soundtrack. And be sure to like and subscribe to watch more videos like this. I fully plan on posting more song covers, more vocal covers, and hopefully more explainer videos just like this one. But with that being said, hope you guys are having a fantastic day, God bless, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.